Joe, has been the strangest hitter I think I've ever seen over the last 3 weeks. Home runs for Johnson, and this ball is hit like a rocket. No mortar here. That ball got out in a hurry.
Kevin Elster with a base hit into left center.
Highlighted by the home run by Bonds. Curveball got him. So Gooden gets out of further damage. 3 runs, 4 hits, 2 left. After 6, 3-1. Pittsburgh. Ralph Kiner joins Steve after this from your Lincoln Mercury dealers.
And Elster squares and takes a strike. A throw to second base, and Carter is picked off second.
Gary thought he had his...
It's looped into right field, and it will be a base hit. Coming around to score is Johnson, and the Mets pick up one as Lee Mazzilli comes through with his 6th pinch hit of the year. And he picks up a very valuable run batted in.
It wasn't pretty, but it certainly was effective. Maz gets under this ball, and look at Lean. Lean almost gets to it. He is some kind of specimen. Howard Johnson with 2 out, running all the way, scores easily. And Mazzilli picks up his 6th pinch hit RBI. New York Met overall this year, his 25th appearance. He's 1-3 with 2 saves.
And the first pitch to Magadan is taken for a ball, and it's a balk call on Gott. Mets have the tying run at second with no one out here in the 8th inning.
Other than that, Gott's been pretty tough on the Mets.
And it's bounced out to the second baseman. Lean is thinking about coming home, but he comes home too late. And Strawberry is safe at first as the Mets tie the game. Good base running by Tim Tuffle. Lean, who was not quite in far enough, had no chance for the play at the plate, but tried to make it anyway.
Well, one thing you can do on the artificial surface is not play all the way in. But Strawberry pounded the ball down into the ground. It wasn't sharply hit. And as you can see, LaValliere tried to block the plate. Lean was charging and throwing hard. But Tuffle, with a good break from third, slid right around LaValliere. Almost semi-through LaValliere. And John McSherry right over the play to make the call. An RBI for Strawberry, and the game is tied.
A good base runner with 21 stolen bases, but he does not go. This ball driven up the alley in left center field. It might be a run-scoring double. It's a bad break for the Mets as it goes over the fence for a grounds rule double. Otherwise, the Mets would have taken the lead. So a bad break for the Mets, a good break for the Pirates, as the ball does not hit the fence and stay in play.
You saw Ed Montague, or rather Fred Brocklander, the third base umpire, making the call of the ground rule double. Boy, McReynolds laces this ball. If this is on a natural surface, it probably doesn't go over. It lands on the edge of the turf in the warning track and bounds over the fence to the backdrop behind. Watch this swing by Kevin McReynolds. Drives that ball, head right on it, and there's Freddie saying 2 bases. Strawberry held at third.
And now the batter's Carter, and another balk is called, and the Mets get a run. Jim Gott walking in a run, and the Mets take the lead 4-3. And here comes Jim Leland out to argue with home plate umpire John McSherry.
Leland is absolutely livid. And they called Jim apparently for exactly the same thing they called before. When the hands, under the strict interpretation of the rule as it is being done this year, come to the set position, whether it's the chest, the belt, or wherever, from the stretch, there must be a period of time that is called.
No one has left this ballpark. And it is another balk, and the Mets get another run as Jim Gott has balked in 2 runners from third base and another to second. And the Mets take the lead by a score of 5-3. And here comes Jim Leyland.
That balk was called by the second base umpire, Greg Bonet. And you saw Jim Gott turn around in anger and disbelief when that call was made. The pitch that he threw could have very well been called a strike, Ralph. It was that close. And a 2-2 pitch. And Leyland going right to Bonet. Bonet had an argument with Davy Johnson and Gary Carter earlier on the pickoff of Carter at second. And Leyland has given him what for. Ed Montague trying to referee a little bit. Chief John McSherry trying to break things up. Well, we talked about it before. Let's look at Jim Gott's movement here. Well, I tell you what, I can't see where that's a balk.
Well, it's not a very discernible stop, but there is a stop.
It's discernible, but it's not long.
If Leyland stays in this game, it'll be a miracle.
Taking up the fight with Ed Montague now. But see, Ralph, it goes back to what we talked about last night and what we talked about the other night in New York. I tell you what, Big John may run him right here if he doesn't back off. The second one, maybe. That one, I don't agree.
So now back to the action. There is a long stop right there. A little late, though, Jim. 3 balks in the inning.
At first with the tying run. Nobody out. Prince to bunt. Gets it down. McDowell goes to third in plenty of time. Johnson to first. Double play. Tuffle covering for the double play as the Mets turn it. And now the Pirates can only bring the tying run to the plate.
Well, I don't know how he bunts this ball. It's right at him. But somehow or other, he gets the bat in front of him and bunts the ball. And now McDowell, with his great agility, turns it into a double play. A perfect throw to Johnson. Johnson sort of first not that good, but it's there in time as Tuffle takes the throw. And the double play on the bunt. And the Mets now have a situation with the time run at the plate. But the Pirates down to their last out.
And the pinch hitter games in the standings ride on the outcome of this one. Got him swinging and the Mets win it. Roger McDowell with a double play on the bunt and the strikeout of Mike Diaz. Keith Hernandez, one of the first out to congratulate him. And the Mets come from behind with the help of Jim Gott's problems in the 8th inning when they scored 3 as they win it 5-3 and have taken the first 2 games of this series with the Pirates, just as they did in New York. And the Mets now lead the Pirates by 6 games in the National League East, and those Montreal Expos are right behind 7 back of New York. McDowell picks up save number 11 in relief. Ralph and I'll be back with a wrap-up from Three Rivers right after.